You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
The wheel is turning and you can't slow it down. You can't let go and you can't hold on. You can't go back.
Hello, welcome back to my Wheelhouse. Today is July 29th, and we are in the thick of the NBA offseason. Not a lot of active sports going on other than baseball at the moment, but there's still plenty of things to discuss. The fantasy basketball and football landscape are heating up, so we're going to maybe touch on those things. Mike will share some insights on the WNBA.
Wow, don't get me going.
And maybe we'll get
I'm
going
hoping
on
you
some
guys
other
know
things.
something.
Do you got any chumps before we spin
No,
the
I got
wheel?
something like I always put the chumps together with Tell Me Something Good.
Yes.
Did you hear the Jackie Bradley one?
No, tell me something good about
With
Jackie
the Ben
Bradley.
and Jerry's ice cream?
Okay, I'm
So
interested.
he goes home after Saturday's game and he gets there and he's on Ben and Jerry's freaking strawberry cheesecake. And so he's always going to have
Delicious.
strawberry cheesecake. He goes to his freezer and there's no strawberry cheesecake.
that's funny.
And he's going, oh my God, this is not good. I need it as an option. I have to have strawberry cheesecake. He goes to his store. They're out. They don't have any. He goes back and he goes on Instagram and he says, somebody out there help me with strawberry cheesecake. Of course, now he's swamped with everything. He picks 3 of them and arranges to meet him at this restaurant, a bar, for the 3 pints of Ben and Jerry's ice cream for 2 tickets to the game.
It's valuable stuff.
But
That's great.
isn't that a cool
That's
story
great.
about
That's
a
great.
professional
I'd be,
athlete?
imagine if you were the one getting the tickets.
just
I'd be
love that.
super
If you
pumped.
just had an excess of strawberry cheesecake in your freezer.
No, the other one I want to talk about was like it's an leftover from the summer league. You know the new rules in the NBA?
With the coaches challenge?
The changes, the coaches challenge. Yeah. When I watched it, I know I was so negative on it, but you know what it works on? 100%?
Yeah.
Charge block. Charge block was off. And
If there's a call made.
if there's a charge block call made, how many times are we watching that when it's the opposite of what we thought? Whether the guy got there in time, they did it. I saw 2 of them on there, and both times and then when you see it the second time, how many times do you actually know what happened when you see the second one?
Right.
I think it's perfect for the charge block.
Isn't it hard to do even on slow motion replay charge
You
blocks?
think so?
I think so.
I mean,
it's
either
so it's like he's sliding over just a little to the left.
A
If
little
there's a
bit.
little
Where
bit
the
of movement,
weight
there's
is
like
distributed.
Well, you
I
can't
think
tell
a
me
charge.
you can't tell me you're watching a game and you say, and then
Right,
you
you get it
say,
better.
Man, and the second time you have a much
You're pretty
clearer
confident
idea.
after just 2 looks and watching on the TV. Never
Yeah.
mind with
And
the
it was
headsets
quick.
and the
It
whole
was
thing.
quick. You know, I think that's a viable
no.
viable use of it.
I like it because it seems like they're going to be in closer communication with Secaucus and stuff like that. So there's going to be a more of a dependence on the people who are having in-depth look at it through a crazy amount of cameras that the referees on site don't have access to. Because previously, those referees and those officials that were reviewing the film in that manner weren't really contacted unless it was like flagrant and flagrant 2s. So most of the time, it was always based off the decision of the official in the game. So now it seems like decisions are
It's
going to be
off
more.
court, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
not
now they're communicating. There's going to be
Yeah.
more communication. It's going to be interesting.
As long as it doesn't take too much time.
Right. Hopefully,
I don't need the
alleviates.
end game to be any longer than it is. Go
First
for it.
spin. This is my first spin ever.
I think you're going to cover the first spin.
Yeah, you usually sit on the left side. All right, Matchmaker. This is
I like
a fun
Matchmaker.
off-season game.
I love the topic. You say there's nothing going on, but I had a great day today going through this stuff because it was all stuff I wasn't thinking about.
Good.
You found so
Good.
Thanks,
All right,
Jay.
so we're going to play some Matchmaker. We're going to pair up a former NBA player with their current team and alumni. An example, which is not one of my listed, would be Michael Jordan from whatever year you want on the 2019 Bulls, play alongside Chris Dunn and Satoransky and Wendell Carter. So do you want to kick us off? Who's your the first matchmaker that came to mind in terms of something that you would be excited about?
It's not the best one, but for the Celtics.
Okay, who is it?
Okay.
There's so many options.
The easiest one would have been Bill Russell, but I didn't take Bill Russell because he can only play for one coach.
Right.
And like Red Auerbach said, when Red Auerbach retired, he said, Bill, I know who the next coach is.
Well, we
here."
needed Bill last year.
And so,
last year we
but
needed Bill.
anyways, after Auerbach, you know who the next coach was? Bill Russell.
Yes.
Bill Russell had a coach because nobody else could coach him, so I didn't pick him.
Okay.
Dave Collins.
Dave Collins, he was my third one.
Really?
Yes.
I think Collins would be awesome for this team.
He would help a lot.
Oh man, he
matches
would be
the
great.
energy,
I-
underdog mentality.
He steps out pretty good, so he's got a shot. So I think he could.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Huh?
He said,
But in this day, he is a good shooter. He just in that day and age, you never thought of shooting from 25 feet. I think in this day and age, he would actually be a good three-point shooter.
he was my choice. I did 6
Okay.
teams, but he was my Celtics choice because the weaknesses that this Celtics roster has in terms
Yep.
of a team overall, Cohen's definitely helps subsidize a lot of those, specifically rebounding, and he matches the energy and it fits with the camaraderie of the team that we're hoping to build on this year. My number, I don't know, I have a bunch of them. I chose Darius Miles to go on this 2019 Los Angeles Clippers team.
He's not going to help the team.
He is absolutely going to take the team. He's going to be an Energizer Bunny. He's going to be an exciting two-way player.
Who?
Darius Miles.
Yeah, the headband.
He's
He does
highlight film.
dunker.
He was
You
on-
think that's what they need?
I think it's exactly.
They have
what
all the other
need.
pieces, right?
They already got Montrezl Harrell. He kind of does
Yeah,
that. doesn't
he fits great
He
with
would go
Montrezl
with him.
Harrell.
Yeah,
They
I
would
guess
pair
he would go
great.
with him.
He's another option and depth for their front court, which is the weakest or the shallowest part of their roster. I think that he would be a fan favorite. He would be an awesome championship piece as a fourth best player on that team.
Okay.
Only one of my six.
How about Chris Webber on the Warriors?
Chris Webber on the Warriors.
Warriors.
They could use
Because
Chris
the
Webber.
Warriors
Yeah,
have
they
Warriors
lost a
don't have
Iguodala.
any big guys,
They lost a Iguodala. They lost Livingston. There's a hole
and
there.
they need more scoring.
Yeah.
So
You are.
it's Warrior era Chris Webber. I think that's a good fit.
I got a
That
good
makes
one.
sense. Okay, let's hear it.
I go, for Denver.
Yep.
Alex English.
Alex English.
Alex English fits them like a glove. He's that scoring option on the wing.
I thought I had the same mindset as you, but I just chose 07 Melo instead.
No way. Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, it's the same
I
idea.
you're right.
I mean,
you gotta
it's like
think of these guys in their prime.
similar-
But Alex English should be a. I mean,
they're similar positions. They offer a similar offensive upside. I just think that Melo is more dynamic.
Yeah.
That's okay. I chose
More. He is. He's more, but he's not as good a player.
Peja Stojakovic for the 2019 Kings.
Wow.
I thought was one of my favorite fits. The Kings, they have a mishmash of answers for the 3 and 4, specifically Bogdanovich and Harrison Barnes. But overall, that is the weaker aspect of their roster. Obviously, their backcourt is studded with Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox, and their front court is very deep and promising with Harry Giles, who's going to get a minute uptick.
I noticed you're not really picking Michael Jordan types for
No,
these.
I want.
It's
I'm
more
more about.
fun to be a little-
But your example was Michael Jordan.
Yes, it was my example. It doesn't mean that's what you need to carry it by. I'm not
gotcha.
talking about all top-notch players. But
Well, my next one's kind of an
I want
oddball,
more
too.
like fit and what a team
Yeah, that's
needs
what I was
and what
thinking.
would be fun to watch.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that team
Yeah.
needs shooting from the wing, and I think Peja would be a perfect answer there.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing. Why not put Ron Artest there?
Yeah,
Ron Artest they have no defense. The Kings have
Yeah,
no
but
defense.
why would you want? I mean, why would you want to run a test on your team? I guess
Ron Artest was fantastic.
but
He was a head case.
kind of volatile. Why would you add that to your team?
because they need an edge. The Kings need an edge.
Before the Malice in the Palace, he was Defensive Player of the Year. He was like
But there
MVP
was, you
voting.
said before, but there was malice in the palace.
Yes,
But
and then-
even when he played on the Kings, he wasn't as bad as Draymond Green.
What?
What do you mean?
in terms
much
of
worse.
volatility.
Nah.
In terms of volatility.
Draymond Green gives so much to his team. So inside his team, I don't.
How did Ron Artest not give something to his team?
I guess meta world peace.
I had Ron Artest. Logan pointed out because
Okay,
I
you
had
did.
Ron Artest for this year's Pacers.
I got this was a good topic for the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm
Clippers.
thinking of a dynamic duo because this would
Quentin Richardson.
No,
Odom.
this is a
Elton
real odd
Brand.
one. No, way out there.
Corey Maggette.
It goes back. What the franchise is.
Danny Manning.
But the franchise has been to a number of different places.
We're in San Diego? Where are we?
We're talking Ernie Di Gregorio,
Buffalo?
and Marvin Barnes.
Okay.
You bring them both together because they don't have a point guard, do they? The Clippers?
I mean, Shamit, Beverly.
No, they're not
Beverly.
point guards. I'd love to have Ernie D out there with Kawhi.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit.
It'd be magic. And Marvin, he's a tough one to play, but he could always play with Ernie.
Yep.
And Marvin, a lot more jail time in San Diego than playing time on the
Yes.
court.
Yeah,
But
talk
Oh,
about
he's
Ron
a head
Artest's
case too.
volatility.
You're giving-
Talk
and
about
so it
Ron
was the
Artest's
San Diego
volatility.
Clippers, and then before that it was the Buffalo Braves. So
Right.
the Buffalo Braves went to San Diego, and now they're in LA. So I thought that was a good match.
And my sixth choice was just a personal preference to make myself happy. Put Rashard Lewis on the 2019 Thunder, just make him a 27-point-per-game scorer on that team next to Chris Paul and Steven Adams.
I like him
He
a
would
lot.
finish that. I think he makes that team a playoff team. If he's on that team, they would be a threat to be reckoned with. It's fun. I went back and watched
Yeah.
some Seattle
He would be
Supersonics
good
with him
on a
there.
lot of teams,
He was
boy.
one of the most. He was one of the
a shooter.
first to perfect the stretch four
What a
in the early 2000s as we were transitioning to such an era that saw so many stretch fours.
Sonics. Why not put Sonics if you have Chris Paul, who's like dying? Why not add Sean Kemp?
Yes.
Sean Kemp would revitalize Chris Paul and make him more valuable. You get alley-oops.
Well, I think that Rashard Lewis helps Chris Paul to begin with.
Well, Chris Paul's always had an alley-oop threat. Like
He's
even
got
think,
Steven Adams.
eh,
No.
he-
No.
I don't think Steven Adams is a legitimate
Pick and roll.
He's a good pick and
Yeah,
roll. He's
yeah.
just
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
He's
I know,
not crazy
but
above the
but
rim.
he's not like
he's imposing.
Pascal Siakam or Clint Capella.
athlete, not that crazy athlete.
Right.
It's a good discussion. It's exciting to
It was
play.
really,
play
that was a good one.
It's exciting to play these out on video games specifically.
All right, next spin.
Okay, WNBA minute. Mike, give me
Okay.
some highlights from the
Oh, so the WNBA minute?
Yes.
Oh my God, I got like 6 pages.
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Give
to
me
you.
your- give me
so
your-
the All-Star game, I'll just give you the tidbits that I think would be interesting to you. That one suggestion has been that so the 3-point shooting contests they do, they really drain them. If you're
Oh, no,
watching,
they're
they
great
really
shooters.
drain them because it's a smaller ball. It's in about 1 foot 3 inches or whatever it is. But one of the part of the conversation I'm hearing out there is like Paul Pierce's idea, where you go to the YouTube for the dunkers and have the dunk competition.
Mm-hmm.
That you have a competition NBA threes versus WNBA threes, and they both shoot. So you combine. You have the
They do that in college.
Right? Yeah.
so
And
you,
even
so
high
you,
school.
so you have
too,
a
right?
team from the men's NBA and a team from the women's NBA. The women can use their ball, but they have to shoot from the same distance. And they can shoot. They can
Yeah,
back
yeah,
out
yeah.
and shoot. So they shoot from their distance, and the men shoot from their distance, and you have a 3-point. I think that would be pretty cool.
I'm in. I like that idea.
I like that. I like that idea.
Now, in the All-Star game, they also did another thing. It was really wild in the women's All-Star game.
Line changes.
Yeah, like hockey.
Yeah.
They had a spot
I
on
liked it.
the court. You went out, you had to tag your player. you could only do it on offense.
wrestling.
You could only do it on offense. You couldn't do it on defense, but you went out and you could tag your player and on the run. Only one player at a time.
Yeah,
that's
They
fun.
could do it.
I'm
I
in.
thought
I'm in.
that was a lot of fun.
I'm in. Put that in the NBA
All right,
All-Star
and
game.
then I don't want. I know you guys don't watch it like I will. Don't have the same. I'm vested the same way that I am in this.
Yep.
But my general comment on them would be that over the last 3 years, there's been an incredible infusion of speed and athleticism in this game, and I was really down on it. And like I tell them. We had a big discussion, me and Matt and Kara, and Mary Ellen and Willa Ann were there just on women's sports in general. And why do I love women's tennis, really watch women's tennis, love women's golf and watch women's golf, but I'm not really grabbing the women's NBA. I'm really not, and I wasn't at all. And I even tell a story about my championship team gets together in the summer every year, and we're getting together again this year. And last year when I asked them how many of them, these were full scholarship athletes in college,
Right.
and how many of them were watching the WNBA game? It was like one half a person. She kind of watched them. The rest of them, the rest of them, and they were living in Connecticut where they had a team, some of them with them, so they didn't watch the game at all. But what I'm seeing from being down on them is that I'm seeing all of a sudden this incredible increase in athleticism out there. And what it's done is it's made the players that don't have the athleticism that are big, you don't see the slugs out there playing out of position, which you were seeing all the time. You saw people, she shouldn't be playing off shooting guard. My God, there's no way. The only way she's playing because the other players aren't good enough. Now, there's no way. That player has to play inside or can't play. And they have a bunch of 6'8" and 6'5" that are playing. That Cam Badge is not bad. I know last year we talked about her a little bit. And then they got Griner, and now they got Aja Wilson, who's 6'5", 6'6" from South Carolina, Aja Wilson. They all play the post positions, and then on the wing they got like Brianna Stewart, who couldn't play this year, and they got Elena Deladon. So they're more in there. It's not a game where you watch and say all 5 players are playing the same damn position. I'm sorry, that's what it looks
Who's the
like.
best player in the league?
It's probably still it's Brianna Stewart, and she's not playing this year.
Deladon.
But,
Without Stewart
Deladon
there.
probably is, but Skylar Diggins is really good.
It does seem like I do agree with you. I've watched highlights and stuff. I haven't sat down and watched the full game, but it seems like even though it
There's a lot of
remains,
players I don't know that are really good.
even though it remains,
Well, yeah, wasn't the MVP an undrafted?
Yeah, and the whole
Nneka?
they were all crying
Okay.
when she got the award because they were just overwhelmed by what she had done. She was not only undrafted, she didn't even have a scholarship to college. I don't think.
and even though it's still obviously more below the rim centered, I definitely do think the pace of the game has increased. It's a lot more aggressive too. They think that the refs whistle.
Boumaké
He swallows
and,
his whistle a lot.
The
Bonner.
level play has definitely gone up, way up. But I'm still not
Recent.
on. I'm
Oh, I know.
not. I'm not
I'm
on
just
board.
saying that's
Do you,
why
have,
I'm
do you
noticing.
have a good game coming up that we could watch that we could come back and talk about? Do you have a good game on the docket or
No,
a team to watch? What's your favorite team to watch?
I don't know. I think Candace Parker's team's kind of fun to watch. Aja Wilson's got her and
The Aces?
and
You like the
Cambridge.
Aces?
And Tiffany Hayes plays for one. She's but almost anybody in almost any game I'm watching right now, you pick up on this one girl named Bonner. That she's about 6'2", 6'3", and she's like Siakam. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing that type of
Athletes.
athleticism. All of a sudden you're seeing these sleek, players out there that are really athletic. And I think in general, you could watch almost any game and you're going to pick up on that. And one of the, like Matt was pointing out, well, why? How come I know so many tennis players? How come I know so many golfers?
Right.
I don't really know a lot of women.
Right.
And he said, well, in tennis, they've got Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And because you got Wimbledon, Wimbledon's been there for what, 100 years? And everybody knows Wimbledon, so there's always had that gravitation. But what's the women's NBA got?
No.
You know,
We need something, but
know,
we'll
something like that 3-point contest.
Yeah, we'll
will
get
give
it.
them
Thanks
the
for
light.
talking about.
We'll
There's a lot more. There's a lot more in that topic.
We'll
We
watch
should
a
get
game
into that
together,
more.
and then we'll have.
I don't think I'm making it through a game.
That's okay.
I'll watch the second half.
Yeah, there you go. All right, pick your 3 League Pass favorites for the 2019-2020
That was fun, too, Shay.
season. There's a lot of good candidates.
Really?
Usually your League Pass teams are more fringe playoff teams that are exciting. Usually they tailor more towards watchability and young players. In years past, my League Pass teams have been, I think I ranked the Kings my #1 team coming into the year last year. I had a bunch of other teams that I was pretty interested in. I was early in on the Nuggets on their rise. So this year, I think there's a pretty obvious one, with being New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, with the allure of Zion and a lot of the other young pieces there, they have a chance to be competitive, competing for the playoffs, and be an exciting watch from night to night in terms of highlights overall. And then my other 2 teams are the Grizzlies for similar reasons, even though that's a much lower caliber
Nobody's
team.
watching the Grizzlies?
I'm watching a lot of Grizzlies.
They're going to stink.
They are gonna
Imagine
stink.
if Ja Morant just comes out average. They would be the worst team.
No, even if he comes out average,
but
I
listen
think
to me,
that,
though,
I think
I'm
even if he
not-
comes out average, he could be the second best player on that team, and that team's still going to be exciting. He's a highlight player, even if he doesn't have a winning basketball resume.
Jaron
when it's all
Jackson's
said
not a
and done.
highlight
Yeah,
player.
He
Not
is.
really. But
No,
I
he is
agree
ugly
with
to
some
watch.
with Logan.
His shirt, his
Ja
shot's
Morant-
ugly.
Ja
He doesn't.
Morant
He
isn't
moves
through
not.
the- If Ja Morant is not through the roof, that team's not going to be any fun.
That team's going to be fun. Ja Morant's
Not if
fun.
Ja Morant isn't on big
Ja
time.
Morant is going to be fun, whether he's
Okay. Who's your
good
third
or
one?
winning basketball or
That was
not.
cool.
The Dallas Mavericks are my 3rd team.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
very
so.
excited to see a healthy Kristaps Porzingis playing alongside Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
I think they have absolutely the potential to be the most exciting duo in the league. I'm intrigued about some of their other pieces that they brought in. I think players like DeLon Wright could be good. We definitely threw Hardaway Jr. under the rug after he got extended for too long of a contract with the Knicks. But I think that they have a lot of excitement there. I like
Who's gonna play
Dwight
the point?
Powell. Probably Wright and Luka. Brunson.
Yeah,
They have options.
Luka will have the ball
Yeah,
in his hands.
Luka's gonna
I
have his ball in
know.
his hands most.
I'm not. It's a different type of game with him at the point, which might be really nice.
Yeah.
And, it will be fun to see him.
It's going to be
and Kristaps
aesthetic.
play together.
He's great.
I hope Kristaps ready to play.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're
I don't
assuming
know.
he is.
What you got?
I actually had New Orleans #4,
Okay.
and I
That's
love to
fine.
watch him play. But it was a topic where there's lots of teams.
Yes.
To me, it's Atlanta.
Yep.
I'm real. Other topic we got here, but one of the training videos I watch is Trae Young. You got to see this guy.
Oh, he's crazy.
You got to see what's happening with this guy. This guy is put on muscle and body, and I am looking at him as one of the best players that I am watching ever. When I'm watching Trae Young right now, that guy reminds me of Mo Cheeks. That's a big time scorer, and he has
player.
got. He's
He's
really,
so confident. He's like he
Oh,
looks
man.
so confident. It's
Man,
great.
when you see him off the dribble and all the things he can do, it's all explosive. Everything he does is explosive,
Yeah.
and that's in addition to him being a brilliant passer.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic
anyways,
passer.
and with I found an interesting take on Cam Hunter and on Cam what's Cam Reddish? Is that
Yep, Reddish and DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter, who I'm still really up on Hunter, but what is that? Hunter has got the highest floor, and
Yep.
Cam's got the highest ceiling.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to put that. So, but I'm interested to see both those guys. That might actually be Cam Reddish that you see explode on that team before Hunter, or both of them, and certainly Collins is worth watching.
Yep. They were my team
Another
last year.
team, and I'm still with them. And I don't. It's going to take a little bit to. I could end up hating this team, but I'm telling you, I like the Knicks, and I'm really looking forward to watching. I like the Knicks. I like Iggy Buzakis.
He's big on the Knicks.
Iggy Buzakis is like a real favorite of mine. I want to watch him. So
How many minutes is he getting?
Huh? I don't know, but
11.
I love Trier. I think a really underrated player is RJ. I think that he got a.
I like him, but
So
I
he's
mean,
going to put numbers up, and I think Mitchell's
he's going to shoot 39%.
Yeah, he's
Well,
going to be low.
he might or might not, but if maybe he'll shoot. But there's other players in that. I mean,
What's your over/under on his field goal percentage? 42, 41?
overall, including threes and twos.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
around
say he's going to be
41.
42,
I think I'm around-
43%.
I projected
Maybe
right here.
not.
He's gonna be bad.
Because it Probably, maybe. But the rest, I like Mitchell
I put
Robinson.
429. I put
You gotta like
429.
Mitchell Robinson. You gotta like him.
I don't.
He's
I
exciting.
don't like
No,
anybody on the Knicks. I don't
exciting
like.
to watch.
I mean, RJ Barrett's my favorite one, and I know.
You don't like Alonzo Trier?
No.
I'm just nervous, Mike.
You
so,
don't like Alonzo
so,
Trier?
Mike,
No.
He's so explosive. He's great. And
Watching
then
them
He's a
last year.
sub. He's a six-man.
Knox
tops.
is the one I don't like that much is Knox, but he's improved.
Knox
a lot.
is one of the guys I like. He can shoot. I
He
like
can
Knox.
shoot, but he's soft. When Zion stole the ball off him, you know that.
That's, you can't say soft when Zion's ripping it from you.
Yeah,
Zion
but
can rip it from
basically,
anybody.
and, you know, he's getting better. But
Yeah.
I was talking last week about Dennis Smith. I think Dennis Smith has got a window
Dennis
on
Smith.
there.
Love
A window
Dennis
there is big time. And I can picture Dennis Smith
Yeah,
and
highlight.
RJ being a good combination. I think Iggy's going to come in off the bench. I don't care about the Gibson and those guys I got.
What
But
I'm-
I want to
what
watch that team.
What I'm nervous in terms of thinking about the New York Knicks as a league pass team is that there's going to be not a lot of consistency in terms of the rotation. Fizdale proved last
I
year
hope it's better
that
than
he,
last
he
year.
throws
Maybe
a lot. He
this is
throws
gonna
a lot
be-
against the wall and
I
just
mean,
sees
30,
what sticks.
30-point blowouts
Yeah,
every
they're
other
gonna get
night.
blown out. A
I
guy that
don't
plays,
wanna watch that.
A guy,
I don't know.
A guy that
I don't
plays.
know.
A guy that plays 30 minutes on Tuesday night will play 2 on Thursday night.
Shay, I'm
it's going to
saying,
be up and
I'm,
down.
I'm saying that was last year. I think.
I hope. I mean, you could hope
And
so,
if-
but the only
and if-
sample we
and
have
if it
is
is
not
this year, then Fizdale's the one that's going to go.
Okay, what's your one of your league pass teams you look for?
I love Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Nuggets are awesome. I think the most underrated player is Gary Harris in the NBA. I love Gary Harris. And Jokic is so much fun to watch. You talk about great passers, Trae Young.
Yeah,
Like,
he is.
how it's so much more fun watching a giant be able to pass the ball.
Yes,
It is. It's fun.
he-
I like that. I like that team too.
I
got another one when you're
I'm
ready.
big on Denver Nuggets. I think they're probably number one. Well, the Pelicans are number one, but that's kind of doesn't even count.
Right.
And
So,
what's good about Denver too is that you never get to see them. So if you have the league
Right,
pass,
that's another thing you gotta
that's
think
the other
about.
thing that's really
Teams that won't
important.
be
They're not going to be
televised.
on national TV.
Yeah, I didn't contemplate picking Clippers, Lakers, Houston, because those teams are going to be on ESPN no matter what.
But I did
Okay.
pick one of those teams, and,
what is it?
and so again, looking at the other stuff you had out there, I had so much fun today doing this stuff. Is that my other one that I want to see all the time?
Yeah.
Is Golden State.
Golden
and I'll
State?
tell you, you know
gonna be
why?
watching all of them.
I think-
I want to see as much as I can of Steph Curry.
And
That
he's
freaking
gonna-
guy is unbelievable. And when I watched his highlights on those things, I was watching other highlights, Paul George, but then I watched Steph Curry and I said, Paul George, get out of here. I mean, Steph Curry, he is unbelievable.
and just think he's going to
and we
have
don't
the ball.
get to see him that much.
Well, he's going to do so much more this
So
year.
I want
This-
to. I never have. I probably watched 15 games of his in his career. I would like to have league
You need to
passes.
watch more. Steph,
I think-
Steph's
I'd love
great
to
watch.
get to see him all the time.
I think you're going to see him shoot the ball the most he's ever shot the ball, which is very exciting.
He is something else.
December, they trade D'Angelo Russell and Draymond Green for Bradley Beal.
I would love that.
Well, we'll
but
see
that's
how
the same
D'Angelo
position as Klay
D'Angelo
Thomas. Why
Russell
would they do that?
might work. D'Angelo Russell might work. I don't think
He
they get rid
could.
of
I think
Draymond
he's gonna be
Green.
better.
I don't think they are.
I think Russell will be okay because he's going to like
He's gonna
shooting
put up
7
stats.
threes.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gonna
gonna
love
get a
him
lot
in
of
Curry.
spacing.
And
think
Kerr's,
they fit.
Kerr's big time.
They
Kerr
fit
can
fine.
take care of that.
All right, some summer highlights. There's you stretch from all canals of the interweb, from high school basketball all the way to Drew League to summer workouts. You can go anywhere. My first guy is Jimma Gotwetch. Have you seen any of Jimma?
Jimma Gotwetch.
Yes,
No, I haven't seen Jimma
Jimma is a high
Gotwetch
school
yet.
AAU player, one of the best dunkers in the nation. He came viral last
How
week.
old?
15. He came viral last
He looks
week.
like a video game.
He came viral last week with a fast break dunk. He went under the legs. Fast break dunk. Under the legs. It was remarkable. And now there's tons of highlights leaking out of this guy.
How big?
He's like 6'2", 6'3".
6'2", but he's already just getting
Oh, he's crazy
way up.
explosive. It's ridiculous. I don't know how much of an NBA prospect he is.
How do you
but
spell
he's,
his last name?
Gatwech.
Okay.
He's very, very
Gotwich.
exciting, very awesome to watch. He's my first guy. And my second guy is a little bit more popular, is Bronny James, LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, he's
I
getting a
think
lot.
that he's been awesome so far from what we've seen. His passing is really improved from where it was already at a high level before in seasons past. His shooting is
I
much
like his
more.
shot.
His shot is faster. He sped up his shot.
He's just
his
bigger.
form is higher. He's grown.
Much
You can tell he's stronger. And his explosiveness, which he used to be more of a smooth player, more ground bound, where he had the skill and he had the IQ. Now he's beginning to raise up and
Trying to
have that
dunk on
explosiveness,
people.
and he's rising up out of the gym a lot.
You see where his social media profile is approaching what Zion's going to be in terms of
Eventually.
everybody, and that one of the caveats of possibly playing on the same AAU team is anybody that's playing on that team that social media is going. So there's all these guys out there that are playing with them that are getting to be high profile just because they're playing with
Yes.
Bronny.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
How many years does he have to go till LeBron? Can he play with LeBron?
I think he's 15. I think he's a freshman in high school, so he's got 4 years.
So that would mean LeBron would be 38,
38, 39 year. Yeah.
That'd be great.
He's got it.
That'd
He's
be
got
great.
it. Who's your summer tape?
I'm still going with Alan Samashik or whatever his name is.
Samajic.
I think that guy. He was the youngest player to ever play in the G League.
Yeah.
He's about 6'10", and I see, and Golden State's got him, and they kind of hit him there. We were talking about this last week. They kind of hit him in there, so nobody else could find him when he came over there. He played in the G League like that, and they were able to get him. They traded to get him. They traded to get that pick, the 27th pick. I'm excited to see, and with what's going on with Golden State, I'm wondering if there's a window for him to play. He's real young.
There's a window for a lot of the players in that roster. That team has a lot of question marks.
He would be pretty cool.
With the Villanova guy, Eric Pascal. They got Jordan Poole, who knows what he could be. They got a lot of guys, and they have no answer in terms of who their fifth player will be. You know,
Right.
Because right now the players that are healthy that are going to be getting heavy minutes are going to be Looney, Draymond, Steph, and D'Angelo Russell. But after that,
I think Cauley Stein's going to get some minutes.
Yeah, he will.
I do.
But after that, it's a lot of question marks. It's McKinney. They're depending on McKinney to play heavy minutes at the 3, and it's really unusual. So there's a window for a lot of these guys that are
all
just
they have
flyers.
to do is play defense. All they get just Steph Curry should shoot 35 shots, and then there's everybody else should play defense.
Yeah, maybe. What's some of
Why
your
not?
summer tape favorites?
I don't have a lot of summer tapes, but I've been watching some Trae Young just pickup games. Oh, that's so much fun to watch.
Drew League?
His dribbling is spectacular.
His handles got better.
He'll just do fast break. He'll go coast to coast and he'll just be breaking down. It looks like when he was in his high school mixtape.
Yes, it does.
He's just crossing. He's getting double teamed, crossing people over, doing the fanciest dribbles ever. And you think he's going to lose the ball, and then he just does a low triple dribble, and then he's into the next spot.
His skill level is on plus as far as I'm watching his skills. His skills, and that's not to mention the shot is just amazing.
Great shot. Beautiful.
The explosion that now he's got more. Everything he's doing, the step back with the James Harden step back both ways.
He's got that move.
Tremendous vision, unbelievable passer, and then he seems to have the right attitude. I like him a lot.
Big year
I'll give you another summer league take. It was pretty cool. Was it during the No, it wasn't during the earthquake. It was during the trade. Westbrook had just got traded, and Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas, is on the thing. And what he said during that summer league to me was really eye-opening in terms that he said they were talking about the game and Westbrook and how he's going to fit and how Westbrook had never sets a screen. So I think he sets the fewest number of screens in the NBA. How's he going to play off the ball? He's never set a screen in his life. He has no idea what to do off the ball. Anyways, Isaiah Thomas goes, I never ran a pick and roll in high school or college. I never saw a pick and roll until I got to the pros. Yeah. Isn't that enlightening? When you look at where the game was and where the game's come, that a great point guard like that had no concept of the pick and roll with Bobby Knight in Indiana or his world-class high school career, and the first time he ever ran the pick and roll was when he got to the pros. I thought that said a lot about where the game has been and where it's gone and what's going on with the game. I would have assumed the pick and roll.
Did you watch the Ben Simmons highlights of him doing lots of pull-up three-pointers and stuff?
Yeah, but again, everybody
we gotta wait to see
take it with a grain of salt. Didn't he do it last year too?
Not as much.
No, I agree. It's looking more like a shot. But his mentality. I don't know whether he even intends to use it.
I think he shouldn't. Why not develop a 15-foot jump shot? Why
Yeah,
should he shoot
that's
a
a good
three-pointer?
point, too.
He
That's
should
a good
shoot.
point,
People are sagging off him so much. It's embarrassing.
Really.
Just do a pull-up jump shot.
Yes, right.
It's unfortunate because you can tell the place in the situation where he has his most rhythm as a shooter is in a mid-range. Where he's far away is with a fadeaway. So that's why that's the worst possible thing to have the rhythm with. But that's where he feels most comfortable. Is if he's 15 feet and out, a fadeaway is how he feels most comfortable.
I don't think you're going to go with what he finds comfortable. You got to teach him a new comfort.
I mean,
Maybe
his form is still
just tell
terrible.
him to shoot a floater.
His
What if
form
you
is
tell
still
him to
terrible.
shoot a floater?
He's still doing this.
15-foot floater.
He still does this.
By his size, he might be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
LaMelo Ball should also pay attention to him. He's been great lately. We have repeat
both
spin.
of those.
Repeat spin. Repeat spin. Bad spinning.
That's
bad
two in a
spinning,
row.
Bad
I was
spinning,
doing
bad spinning.
pretty good.
Bad spinning.
That likes that
Choose
spot.
one. All right, NBA over/under win totals have came out.
I don't know what they are.
It's okay. I got them all in front
that's
of
what
me.
I figured.
I'll just I got some that are immediately too high, too low. I'm gonna go from the top all the way to the bottom. I'll do all of them. Ready? Bucks 57 wins. Clippers 55.5. 76ers 54.5. Jazz are 52.5. The Rockets and the Nuggets are both 52. The Lakers are 51.5. Celtics come in at 49.5. Pacers are 48.5. Blazers 47.5. Both the Warriors and the Nets are at 47. The Raptors are at 45. The Spurs and the Heat are both at 43.5. Magic are at 40.5. The Mavs are at 41. Pelicans at 39. The Kings and the Pistons are at 37. Hawks are at 36. Bulls are at 30.5. T-Wolves are at 35. Thunder at 28. Suns 27. Knicks 27. Cavs 24. Grizzlies are 25.5, and Hornets are 24. So just to center in on the things that really stood off and jumped off the page to begin.
Who's Cleveland at?
Cleveland's at 24.
10.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
24.
they were a
They
team.
stink.
Starting off at the bottom, we can work our way towards the higher win totals. I do think that both the Cavs and the Hornets, 24 wins is very, very optimistic for both of those teams. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Love was moved at some point during the year, and even if he isn't, it's unlikely he'll be able to put together a full 82 healthy season. And last year, in contrast to other stars in terms of what their record is with the team and versus when they're out injured, their record actually wasn't that drastically different with and without Kevin Love. But you could tell that even though they have some young players and they're going to be a little bit better than last year, they barely got to 20 last year. I think they had 19 wins last year. I see them around the same area. And the Hornets, they might win maybe 14 games this year. This is one of the worst teams in the league that the league has seen in the past 4 or 5 years. Think about going back to the Jahlil Okafor
Who's
Sixers.
Who's their best player?
Terry Rozier
Frank?
and Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier
Yeah,
are their
they're
best
bad.
players. So I think that they're going to struggle a lot. I mean, Batum is going to be like their veteran leader. I think that that's a problematic team. Next up, highest team that I had that jumped off the page is the Bulls. There's a lot of optimism on them. They only won around 22 games last year. 30.5 wouldn't be crazy, but again, that's going to be dependent on a lot of health and growth from young players that we are not sure yet how they fit together, whether or not they even fit together at all. I think that they barely get there. Teams that are in the Western Conference that are going to be around the playoff bubble, I think that area was super interesting. So why don't we have a discussion about the Mavs, the Pelicans, and the Kings? The Kings are at 37, Pelicans are at 39, the Mavs are at 41. How do you think about how the odds makers shook that out? Who do you think is the most likely to either jump above that or fall below?
So the
their
Kings
win
are at
total?
37, the
Kings
Mavs
are at 37, the Mavs are at 41, and the Pelicans are at 39.
I think all three of those teams can win more games than that. And Mavs is a lot on health than Chris Stapps. But I think the Pelicans, like, if Zion's a top 20 player, which I think he can be already, immediate top 20 player, all-star level player, why are they winning 39 games? They're winning more than that.
They definitely win 45 gagames if he's a top 20 player. I just don't think he's going to be that immediately. I think he'll be a top 35 player.
I think he's an immediate all-star level player. He's
Yeah.
he's going to make a huge impact on the NBA, and he's going to. They're a playoff team. I think the Pelicans are
think 82
playoff.
games is a challenge for him?
Probably,
with his
Do you like the 315 pounds that people are talking about?
Yeah, he's 315 pounds,
the
and he's
thick
still
weight-
jumping 45 inches off the ground.
The stress that's putting on his knees and his legs, and I don't think he. And what I found interesting about him, and I kind of agree with you. I think that they got a lot of pieces to put together, and that's a real challenge. And I'm not sure how good the coaches at putting those pieces together to make them.
I like the pieces.
So
I like Drew.
I like them too, but I don't know where you fit them. I mean Alonzo Ball and Giroux and Ingram and they weren't together in L.A., so they were all like individual players that you got to put together with Zion. But the take on Zion that I heard from Griffin today was kind of odd, where he said we're not going to actually be asking him to be a premier scorer. We're looking for him to be more like, get ready to puke, Draymond Green.
Yeah,
And bring that energy to the defensive end and play his rebound and his transition game and how quick that is up the court.
That sounds great.
Put that out there, make that solid, and then let the rest of his game develop from there. I like that.
Right.
I
So
kind of like that idea.
how do you rank him in the best defensive player? He's
No, I
already
think
a top
he's awesome.
20,
I think
20
he's awesome.
defensive player.
I think Zion's often. I told you the only question I got on him is, the 82-game season, and there is some speculation, and you're seeing it a little bit, that he's not getting himself in the best shape that he could be in, and that
We got time before the season comes around.
We do.
And even in recent videos and pictures, there's videos of him hanging out with Drew Brees. He looks even
I
slimmer
love
than he
him.
did
I
in the
love
summer
him.
league.
I
So
mean, God,
who knows? I think that he could swing. Out of the three teams, the Pelicans is the teams I would stay away from. I think 39 is a good over/under. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they were right around there. I think they're going to be on the brink of the 8 seed, 9 seed. I have them probably at the end of the day when the season rolls around. I think they will be my 8 seed to make it into the playoffs because I think that they just have enough talent and that they're going to have enough answers, they have enough depth, and they have enough energy, and their defense is going to be good enough that they'll be able to carry enough
So you think
wins.
Zion
Zion
into the
could be the
postseason.
defensive player of the year. If he gets 2
very
blocks and
optimistic.
2 steals
Yeah,
a
very
game,
let's not get carried away yet.
He could get, what do you mean? He
Optimistic.
could easily get 2 blocks and 2
Optimistic.
steals a game.
It's-
Easily.
The amount of players that have done that in recent memory are very limited. He's not going to do that his rookie year. That's his
Right, so that's how crazy it is.
That's his upside easily, but I don't think he's going to do that. With the Mavs and the Kings, I think that the Kings are the most likely team to go
better.
above their total, and the Mavs are the most likely team to go below their total. I think the Mavs have a lot of questions outside those top 2 guys. We're uncertain about what the answers are at point guard, their small forward position, and overall their front court in terms of depth and dependability outside of Kristaps and maybe Dwight Powell is kind of up in the air. That's why I like the continuity and the accrued growth with the Sacramento Kings team. I think De'Aaron Fox will take another step forward, probably not as big of a jump as he did last year, but he'll take another step forward. I expect a big jump from Bagley, expect a nice growth year offseason from Giles. I think Buddy Hield, he's probably, we're going to talk about him in a little bit for his extension. He's in line for some money. I think that they're my most confident out of that bunch to go closer to 39, 40 wins rather than 37.
And then just being selfish, like I am a lot, but I'm hoping that Kyle Guy gets a spot, and that maybe he's going to, maybe possibly. Well, he had a real good summer league. It looks like it looks like he's a shooter.
He's a shooter, and his place for him.
It's possible.
All right, let's go closer to the top of the Western Conference. I thought it was pretty interesting with the Rockets, Nuggets, and the Lakers. That block right there, both the Rockets and the Nuggets favored to get 52 wins, and the Lakers just below that at 51.5. I actually think that the Lakers have been dropped to 50.5 since that book opened. I thought that the top 2, the Rockets and the Nuggets, I was pretty confused by how low the total was. Both teams won more games than this in their past. The Nuggets won more games last year, and the Rockets have not won as little as 52 games in the past 3 seasons. I think that the only argument for both of these teams is that either they're stagnant or they've gotten better. I understand that maybe the conference in general is a little more widespread in terms of competition from top to bottom, but I don't see these teams becoming worse record-wise than what they were last year. I think that it's more likely than not they turn out a big regular season. If the Rockets have failures, I think it'll be in the postseason, not in the regular season. I think D'Antoni has proven to know how to manage a strong winning basketball team in the regular season, and I think that the Denver Nuggets, because of their continuity, because of their young players' likelihood to take another jump forward. You spoke on how underrated Gary Harris is. He had one of his worst careers of his year last year. Worst years of his career last year. He was injured. More health moving forward, and maybe some more swings on players like Malik Beasley becoming more of a chiseled out role. I think both those teams will be likely closer to 55, 56 wins rather than 52. Whereas the Lakers, I don't think that they break 50.
Wow.
You don't think they?
No, I still think that they'll probably be a top 5 seed. I just think that it's probably going to be around 49 wins, 48 wins. I think that LeBron is probably going to be missing a lot of games. I think that Anthony Davis is going to put in a large amount of games in terms of what was
LeBron,
comparison to
load management or injury?
Probably more so load management than injury.
You think he's going to start doing that?
Yeah, I would imagine so, just to pace himself. And even if it's just lower minute totals in general, not necessarily missed games, I think that this roster, there's a lot to fit together. I think that the team is going to end up figuring out at the end of the day. I think that they'll probably be my choice for the Western Conference Finals appearance and maybe even to the NBA Finals overall. But I think
With
that
less than 51 wins.
yeah, I think that the regular season, it's going to be a lot of Anthony Davis, and then it's going to be a lot of question marks after that in terms of production, in terms of winning basketball. I'm super skeptical about Frank Vogel. I'm super skeptical about DeMarcus Cousins' ability to come back to full health. I'm obviously hopeful and optimistic for him because I love watching him at full health, but we didn't see a single game of him last year where we were saying, oh, he's back. So I think that there's a lot of questions with this team. LeBron and Anthony Davis are obviously enormous Band-Aids for that, whatever problems they may have, but because of the other questions, because of my thoughts that I don't think that LeBron is going to be putting in over maybe 68 games, I would be my over-under for LeBron James played, maybe 72 games. I think that it's more likely than not that the odd makers are playing into the Lakers' favoritism and the just really the adoration and love for the brand kind of becoming back on the map. So I think that's kind of how it shakes out there. Do you have a different balance with those 3 teams?
I like your take on the Lakers a lot. I think I got a lot of questions with Vogel and even that combination of him and Kidd and the depth issue.
That's tumultuous.
But I think the Lakers got a tremendous upside.
Yes,
and obviously they
definitely.
do, but I mean an upside in terms of the 51 wins. And my key to that team, and I'm not going to get it because it's not going to happen, and I've said it, you've heard me say it, I'm just beating a dead horse at this point. Put Rondo at the point and play Rondo, Davis, and LeBron. It'll be the best big 3 in that league, and they'll win the game will go through the roof. If you're going to put LeBron at the point and bring Rondo in off the bench, you're crushing that team. That's my opinion on it. And the depth is bad. The Rockets, I don't like that they're not giving D'Antoni the extension.
Yeah,
and
weird.
if they're not giving him the extension, something goes south with Westbrook and Harden. I wouldn't want to be D'Antoni trying to manage that team. If you don't have an extension and you're calling them into your office to talk to them, and you don't even have a contract and you got to deal with Westbrook and Harden. But I love their upside too. In general, whoever did that, Shea, I'm finding that the top teams, they got really ranked low. I think across the board, they've got low numbers on all the top teams. I think the Rockets will win more games. Nuggets, I mean, I could be dead wrong, obviously. Everybody can, and you got your opinion on them. I do not. I think they peaked last year, and I don't think they're going to get what they got last year. I think they're going to finish worse than they did last year. I don't think they're going to take a step forward this year. I think you've seen it with them in terms of they're going to level out.
But the three guys are young, so why are they going to level up? They got Jokic, Gary Harris, Jamal Murray. Those three guys are young. They're all going to get better.
I think Jokic is definitely as good as advertised. I'm not sure that Murray is. I like Harris a lot.
Well, the only thing that's wrong with Murray is like he hasn't like stepped up. He hasn't hit big shots. Like that's something that he's going to gain over experience.
Yeah.
So just progressing years with years, he's going to get better. He just needs to have that experience.
I'm finding. I mean, if you're just going to judge by how they did against the Celtics, they're going to all make the All-Star team next year. But anyways, I find that Murray is really pretty up and down in terms of
right. So he's not
that
consistent.
worries me
That's because he's young.
Yes. So, but that's been very consistent. His up and down has been consistent. Really big ups and downs. You know, missing 13 threes in a row and then hitting his threes. Performing in the clutch and then not performing in the clutch. Making 40 foul shots in a row and then missing key foul shots. And he's the leader of your team. I almost like Harris better than him, but I know Harris is a defender and more off the ball. So that team, I'm not sure. And I don't like what they've got on the wing for scoring. I really think they're lacking there, and they could really use it. So that they're depending on Murray to score. And
I think that they're
Jokic had somebody else. Jokic had Alex English to pass to.
Well, they just added a great lob threat and a great dunker spot guy in Jeremy Grant. I think he's going to fit in perfectly there. He's going to rise their defensive ceiling. I think that they only have to up. I mean, last year Barton wasn't healthy for the majority of the year.
He's more of the same.
He's that wing scorer that you're talking about.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
He's not Alex English, and he's not Siakam. He's not. They need a real big. They need a big time win.
Of the potential playoff teams in the East, does any stand out? Jump off the page to you. Bucks 57, Sixers 54.5, Celtics 49.5, Pacers 48.5, Nets 47, Raptors 45, Heat 43.5. Any jump off the page for you? I think that the Raptors are probably going to win more than that. I mean, they were always hovering around 50 games with DeRozan and Lowry. I think Pascal Siakam is better than DeMar DeRozan, so I don't see any reason that they won't be able to beat that.
I think
total.
the Nets are ridiculously high.
I think the Nets are ridiculously high as well. I mean, last year they barely got to 41.
I don't know if this is possible, but I think the top 5 players in the East are all ridiculously low. I think they're all low.
You think the Bucks, Sixers, Celtics,
I mean,
and
somebody
Pacers
at least
are
going
all
to win
gonna
60 games. Come on,
Well,
you
the
know.
Bucks are favored.
Yeah, so they got them at 57. I think 76 is at 54.5. The Celtics,
They can get more than that.
I think the Celtics are going to win more than 49. I do. I think.
Pacers are getting more
the
than 48
Raptors might have trouble. Maybe not.
Just the top 3 teams need more wins.
I think that's probably it. The others probably.
Final take on win over-unders?
So the Celtics are going to be third seed?
That's what they say.
I like that, but I think they're easy. They get more than 50 wins. I want them more than 50 wins.
We'll see.
Me too.
Let's see if you can land
Me too.
a new one. All right, let's do a fantasy basketball mock draft. So this is only for
Rookies.
the rookies of the league that are entering, that are about to play their first year. Mike, you have the first overall pick in the fantasy.
With the first pick.
Tough pick.
In the fantasy.
Tough.
I go with Zion Williamson.
Yeah, real tough.
Come and see me, Zion.
Yeah, really tough.
Based off the projection that you outlaid, that I think that Griffin talked about, of him being kind of the more distributor, I think that his stat set is going to be pretty balanced. He'll probably get around 8-9 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists. I could see him I have him getting over block, over a steal, not getting 2. And I think he'll easily he's going to fall into 17, 18 points a game. It's just going to fall into his lap.
I think that's all that's his floor.
Exactly. That's all pretty modest. And I think
That's
that
good.
he could easily outshoot that. But I think that just being aware that, and just in terms of the ratios of statistics, I think that's where he goes.
I think the amount of alley-oops he's going to get that's going to be a record. He's going to have the most alley-oops.
Record alley-oops.
Yeah, with Lonzo and Drew throwing him alley-oops.
Lonzo's
You
going
think
to be.
Lonzo's ready to play
Lonzo's
a full
value.
season?
Yes.
And,
Yes, he needs to.
that's the key on it.
I have the number 2 pick. With the second pick in the 2019 fantasy rookie draft, I'm taking Ja Morant. I think that his efficiency in terms of from the floor, we were talking before in terms of what R.J. Barrett's going to struggle. I think that Ja will be similarly, probably around 43% from the field. He's going to be high turnovers, probably around 3.5 a game, because he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. But because of that, that's going to churn stats. I think he's going to be close to 8, maybe 9 assists a game. He's immediately going to be a top 10, top 5 passer in the league.
Nobody's going to score.
I
He
think
can't pass to anybody.
has
He's not
lots-
getting 9 assists.
He has pick and pop threats. He has lob threats. He has shooters that are young. I think that he's going to be a fantastic high IQ player. I have him probably around 4 or 5 rebounds a game. I think he gets around 14 points a game. And I think that the 14 is modest. The other stats may
I
be
think
a
he
little
gets
bit
more than that.
maybe a
More
little bit
points.
brash.
Shay, how do you compare him to Trae Young coming in?
To Trae Young,
Yes.
he has nowhere near the shot, the passing ability coming out of college. Ja's passing ability is better. At this point, obviously we've seen Trae develop as a passer in the past season.
No,
so
he already
obviously
had
as
it.
passers right now, Trae Young is a superior passer to Ja Morant. But in terms of what their chops are coming out of as a prospect, I like Ja just as much, if not more, than
You're
what I saw out
talking
of
like
Trae
he's going
Young.
to be better than Trae Young, and I
No,
don't see that.
I'm just saying in terms of the similar aspect of the game, in terms of what you're pigeonholing your answer and question for, in terms of passing alone, Ja Morant has just as much of an upside as a passer as Trae Young did coming out of school.
I'd say
and
probably
he could absolutely
5.5 turnovers a game.
No, 5.5. That's so many. I think
Sure, he's going to have the ball in his hands the whole game.
3.3.
He's a
Five
big
and a half.
He's a big unknown, Shay.
3.7,
You're acting
3.7.
like you've already got his game figured out. He's a big unknown. He really is.
He's an explosive athlete that is incredibly high IQ, incredibly high motor. He's going to be everywhere on the floor. He's going to turn into assists. He's going to have lots of
He's
scoring
come
opportunities.
too far, too fast.
And he's very, very all over the place, and that's going to result in some steals. And he's always hunting highlight blocks, and I bet he averages around 0.7 blocks too. Third pick of the draft, Logan. Who you got? Third pick.
It's kind of like it just fall. I have to, but I got to go with RJ just because he's the best available right there.
Best available.
I'm not huge on him, and I think it's mostly because the Knicks are going to really struggle. But he's gonna get stats just because he's there. I like. I think my favorite thing about him is his double pump layups. I like his double pump
Got a lot
layups.
of double pump layups.
So he's got a strong body for creating his own shot, feeling around, using his shoulder. He's left-handed. He's got that strong left hand. I like that in his game, and he's huge. So he's going to get rebounds.
He's going to really rebound.
He's going to get rebounds.
I bet you he averages 7 rebounds a game.
I have him at 6.1. So I think that he could easily I think 17 points a game is going to fall into his lap. I think he easily has 20 points on his docket. We talked about it. I think he's probably going to be around 42, 43% from the field. He's going to be under 80 from the free throw line, but he's going to average over a 3 a game, just over 6 rebounds a game. He'll probably average right around 4, maybe a little bit on the shallow side of 4 for assists. Just because
Those are good numbers.
But I think that he's going to put up stats. And
Yep,
I
that's why he's a
think
good pick.
It's concerning that moving forward because I don't know what his statistical output ceiling is because depending on how the Knicks move on in their future, depending on what other players they bring in, depending on who rises up on the ranks of their roster, I think that his statistical upside could be pretty limited to what he produces in this rookie year. Obviously, we just talked about Dennis Smith and his ceiling
He's
opening
big.
up.
He's
I mean,
big.
his rookie year, Dennis Smith averaged 15, 5, and 5, and we were saying that's only going to go up. But last year, he only averaged 13, 4, and 3.
But it was such a shaky year last year. We had we had Doncic come in there and take his job virtually.
Right.
That was a bad day.
Right.
And then he got in the middle of the season, goes to the Knicks, and he's going to fit into this the tank job of all tank jobs. With there, that wasn't
an
good.
ideal
But
situation.
I hear you, and I think what RJ needs. I would love I'm seeing what Conley's doing with Mitchell. That is awesome. What's happening there? I'd love to if it was Conley and RJ. I'd feel a lot better. That's what he's going to need.
All right, I got the 4th pick.
Okay.
I'm taking Jarrett Culver with my 4th pick. I
Okay.
think that in terms of a fantasy landscape, I think that he has ability to offer upside in almost every statistical area. I think he's probably going to be around 46, 47, close to 80% from the line. He'll average over a 3. He'll average over a steal. He'll average close to a block. He's going to average 4 rebounds. He's going to average close to 4 assists. and I think he's probably around 12 or 13 points a game his rookie year. And I think every single one of those
Doesn't he
areas
have to
has
take
upside
Wiggins'
up there.
playing time?
And I think that him and Wiggins will share the floor together.
I don't think so.
He has 2-3 swing potential, just like Wiggins has 2-3. Their rotation in terms of their swings is going to be Covington, Wiggins, Okogie, and Culver. Those are the 4 guys that are going to be playing in terms of those minutes at those 2 positions, sometimes 3 positions. I think he's going to have plenty of opportunity. He's a fantastic fit with Karl Towns. I wouldn't be surprised if they had parts of the year where he was running the point, because outside of Jeff Teague, they're extremely limited. I think he's going to get opportunity, and I think he has the skill set that is going to produce the stats.
I think
that will show in fantasy
until they get rid of Wiggins or resolve that thing, I think that's going to be standing in his way. I really do. I think Wiggins is going to be demanding on point shots, the ball, and everything, and it's going to stifle Culver's development.
Culver's got great vision. He's going to get 2 assists a game passing Andrew
Okay,
Wiggins.
so I got number 5.
Number 5th pick. Go
Number
ahead.
5. I'm as much as I love DeAndre Hunter, and I still love him. I'm going with Rui Hachimura because
Rui.
Oh,
Wow,
God,
surprise
yeah.
pick at
All right,
5. Surprise pick.
Rui, what's he doing?
Rui,
Oh yeah.
surprise
Remember,
pick.
this is
Did you see him in the
fantasy.
summer
This
league?
isn't.
You watch him in the summer league? The guy can score. He can score, and he's going to be the second option on the boards. He's going to be the number 2 option on that team. You tell me somebody else that's not going to be the number 2 option. Bradley
Bryant.
Beal and Rui Hachimura.
Thomas Bryant.
Hachimura is going to be the number 2 option, so he's going to put up big numbers because he's going to be the number 2 option on that team. I like what I saw in the summer league offensively from that guy. He's got a pretty full game offensively. I can't step all the way out yet, but he's got a lot of body control the way the basket. He's big,
have
he's
body
strong.
control.
So Rui,
I think he's
got
interesting.
numbers.
I think he has upside. He's going to be a lot of what you were saying Jamal Murray is. He's going to be crazy inconsistent. He's going to have games
Yeah, but
where
he's 6'8".
He's going to have games where he scores 20 points and
but
he looks
Jamal-
confident, and then he's going to have games where he puts up a donut. I think that this is going to be a rocky season for
I'm
him.
seeing more donuts.
I think
I'm
that
not a fan of
a
Rui.
rocky season. I think
Donuts.
he's going to have
Well, you tell me
average.
you tell me on that team.
Nobody. They stink. They're
Well,
terrible. They might
They're going
just
to
get
score
kicked out
more
of the
than 20
NBA.
points a game.
They won't.
And-
There's going to
and-
be multiple games
I
they score
think
60
Rui's going to
points.
get great
I think he's gonna
opportunity on
have
that team.
below-
I'm happy to have him.
below average efficiency. He won't average a block. He won't
On
average a
that
steal.
team,
He won't average a
he's
3.
gonna score.
He's going to average less than 2 assists a game. He's going to
gonna
average
score.
around 4 or 5 rebounds a game. I think his scoring
Scoring
upside
them.
this year is maybe 12 or 13 points a game. I don't like him that much.
If
This year,
he's
he
the
has a
second
fantasy
best
upside.
player, then
I know.
then they're
I know.
when going in, the teams are gonna put a good defensive player on him.
Yes.
He's gonna stink.
Yes, he's
You
gonna
didn't
be
watch him in the summer league, I guess.
I didn't watch
He
enough of him
performed
because I
really
didn't.
well.
No.
I mean,
He had one really good
He
game. Some of
definitely
his other games were very,
increased
very
his
bad. Yeah, bad
value
games.
in summer league, and that doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't translate. I
increased
know,
outlook.
but I thought he.
All right, Logan has 2 picks here. Who are you picking? That's 6 and 7.
I got
back to back.
I got Garland.
Garland, good
Garland,
pick. Darius
'cause
Garland.
he's gonna get some shots up.
Yes, that's
he's gonna
right.
get points. It's not gonna be a lot of other stats. He'll get that few assists in there, but he's gonna get some minutes.
Yep.
And he's gonna get lots of shots. He's gonna shoot some threes. I mean, he could easily average 7 to 8 attempts a game
Yeah.
from downtown. So
Yeah.
he's gonna get some threes.
I have him averaging around 2.2 threes a game, just between 14 and 15 points, 14.3 points a game. He doesn't offer a lot of upside in terms of assists, I think. I think he'll probably be around 3 a game. He's not a great defender, so that's not going to churn into steals or blocks, obviously. Turnovers is a pretty big question mark. I think he'll probably be close to 2.5.
Yeah, even
because
more
he's going to
maybe.
be splitting the role with Colin Sexton. I do think he'll probably average over 2 threes a game. He's going to be good from the line, but he's going to be putrid from the field.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be a good, he'll be a projectable player in fantasy, and you'll kind of know what you're going to be getting. It's just that his ceiling could end up being a lot higher than you're expecting. Second
Right.
pick,
He could
7th
go. He
overall.
could go off and average 20 a game.
He could. Yeah, 14's on the handsome side.
I mean, this is kind of where like you could go anywhere, but I don't really like anybody that fantasy-wise out of these guys. So if I was picking fantasy, I would probably go Hayes, just so I can get
Jackson
some,
Hayes.
so I can get some defensive stats, get some blocks in there, get some rebounds.
Blocks are extremely valuable statistic in fantasy basketball. They're not that widespread.
And he had a good summer league. He was good in the summer league.
He's crazy explosive. I mean, we talked about Zion getting lots of lobs. He's going to be a recipient of a lot of those Lonzo passes. His efficiency is probably going to be pretty top-notch in comparison to a lot of his other peers. I think he has the easiest route to shooting over 60% from the field out of anyone in this bracket here. I think he shoots good from the free throw line. He's not going to come out shooting threes immediately, but he offers that upside down the road.
It's an ugly shot.
He's not
It goes in, but
he's
it's
not
ugly.
he's not a
So
scorer.
was Memphis.
He's not a scorer, but I think he could fall into 7-8 points a game just off of lob threats and being around the dunker spot. He's not a fantastic rebounder. I think
weak.
he'll probably
frail.
only offer 4 or 5 rebounds, but where
can jump.
where his bread really is butter is in the blocks. I think he absolutely could get
can jump.
close to 2 blocks a game. He won't average any turnovers, so that won't hurt you there. He's going to be a really, really Miles Turner light his rookie year, but you're right. Once we get to this part of the draft, it's pretty slim pickings. I was hoping one of those 2 players will be there, but with the 8th pick overall in the draft, I'm going to select Tyler Hero out of Miami Heat. I think that Hero has some fantastic scoring and spacing the floor ability that is going to really warrant him ample time on the floor. He's going to get a good amount of minutes. In comparison to a lot of these other guys where their minute load is up for questioning. I think that his shooting alone is going to give him time on the hardwood. I think that he could easily average around 14 points a game. We just talked about how valuable Garland could be, averaging over 2 threes. I think Hero could be close to averaging 2.5, 3 threes a game. Similar to Garland, he doesn't average a lot, doesn't offer a lot of statistical upsides in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. But I think his efficiency is going to be a lot kinder to fantasy owners than Garland was. I think that he's probably going to be a 90% free throw shooter. He's very adept at getting to the free throw line, so that's going to be a valuable percentage in terms of an empty percentage. He's proven that he can get there. And even from the field, his efficiency has been pretty underrated. I think he'll probably be about 43, 44 to start, but he could have upside as a 46, 40% shooter from the field.
Wow.
I see him as like a B level. The Suns, the same
Booker.
Kentucky. Yeah, I feel like he's got almost the same exact game.
Yeah,
very similar.
He could develop
like
a playmaking
when Booker
ability.
came out of college, nobody believed in Booker. He was like the 14th,
13th.
Yeah, he was
He's
like,
not as explosive as Booker.
Booker wasn't.
Booker wasn't
He's not a high
explosive.
flyer like Booker.
Booker's not a high flyer.
Booker's a high flyer.
Booker wasn't considered
flyer. You
explosive,
don't think
and
so?
he's not a high flyer now.
No,
but
especially when he was coming out of
I thought he was pretty powerful.
his explosiveness has
I
increased.
thought he could attack the rim real good.
His explosiveness has increased, but I don't think that he's considered a high flyer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that he absolutely offers that upside, and you've got to give Kentucky players the benefit of the doubt.
a shooter.
They always have aspects of their game and their palette that you don't expect. So who knows? Maybe he comes in and he's a surprisingly strong rebounder, or he averages 4 or 5 assists. The 9th pick of the fantasy draft.
It's
Who you
a
got?
real tough pick for me. It's a toss-up between Brandon Clark and but I'm going to go with DeAndre Hunter. And I'm going to say that I'm going to say he's a sleeper. They never should have played him when they took Jerome and these other guys that weren't eligible right away because they hadn't signed their contracts. Ty Jerome never played in the summer league. They said right away he didn't have enough time to practice with his team. And DeAndre Hunter, he only had to. In the hotel lobby, they ran him through a couple options, and then he stunk in the game he played because he doesn't play. But I think he can put some numbers up. Cam Reddish may push him aside, but I think there's a spot
they
there.
get. They just got somebody else.
Oh well, they got
Bruno
the guy from
Fernando?
Maryland,
Jabari Parker?
for Fernando.
Jabari Parker.
Oh, Jabari Parker.
Parker can take his minutes.
I guess, but I mean, he's kind of damaged goods. I know he's been. It's been a while since he's been an elite player.
He's not. Right. He's no longer an elite player, but he can be a role player.
What we know Jabari Parker doesn't do is he doesn't play defense. And what we know that DeAndre Hunter does is play defense.
What I'm concerned about is
he's a better, and he's a future on that team. Jabari Parker comes. I can see him being the scorer off the bench.
A fantasy point of view, obviously you're correct. He offers defensive upside, but what's unfortunate is his defensive upside often doesn't translate to statistical output. No. I think that he easily will. I think he'll average over a steal a game his rookie year, which is important and is something that you need to pay attention to. But I'm nervous about every single other area of the game. I think that he'll have good efficiency overall, probably 46, maybe close to 80, probably not quite 80. I think he has the ability to hit a 3 a game. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he'll break 10 points a game. He's an okay rebounder, but I don't know if he'll get there. I just think that he's not diverse enough and strong enough in as many areas as he needs.
So maybe
to
I should change my pick.
No, it's fine. It's your pick. He's already locked in.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing who I should pick.
You got the shirt on. You got him.
I love him. I love him. And I hope he prospers because I love Trae Young so much, and that's my team that I want to watch.
It's a good spot for him. So I got 2 guys I was considering here. You mentioned Brandon Clark. That's obviously one of my guys. My other guy is Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
That's the guy I was just going to mention.
I think I'm going to select Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Looks like he can fill a stat sheet.
I think that he's going to fill a stat sheet across. I like Clark's ability, the opposite of what Hunter does. Clark's defensive upside does translate into stats. I think that he'll probably average over a block and a steal his rookie year, so I like him there. But he doesn't offer much shooting. He's not going to offer a lot of scoring, and he doesn't really pass the ball. What I like from Nickeil Alexander-Walker is I think he's really going to spread it around. He has the opportunity to average a 3 and a steal. He's a really, really smart player, so he's not going to get a lot of turnovers. And I think he could easily get 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists a game. And I think that could be a really smart and exciting output for him, even as like the 3rd or 4th guard in that rotation. I'm excited for him, and I think that they found a gem in the rough there at 17 overall.
Yeah, he's looked really good in the
Think he'll get minutes?
I think that he'll
hope so.
get enough minutes.
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting there because in terms of Lonzo and Drew,
Yeah.
and then in terms of what else they have on the roster, it's kind of like where Etuan Moore and then like Frank Jackson and these type of players. So I like him edging out those other guys. Obviously, J.J. Redick's going to get some minutes there too. So there's some players that are a little bit more credible than others, but I think Nickeil absolutely has the ability to edge himself into enough of a role where it'll translate into stats and
I
especially
think
be
he's the
able to
type of
develop a little
player
later on.
that needs to get into a flow, and I don't think he's somebody that can go in there and play 3 or 4 minutes and start putting up numbers. I think he's somebody that needs to play 8 or 9 or 10 minutes in a stretch, and I don't think he's going to do it on that team.
I'll close it out with a tip of hat to Brandon Clark because I really do like Brandon Clark. And if you had taken Alexander Walker at 9, I would have taken Clark at 10. I think that he could average over 10 a game, and you could see him averaging 3 combined blocks and steals. And he could be exciting, especially if you are factoring in all the assists that John Morant will be giving him off the alley-oops. But I think that's exciting. We don't have time to get to what's the thing we didn't do. We didn't do something, but oh well. Celtics
It was
over-unders.
fun. It was fun.
But we'll get to that next week. Thank you for joining us in the summer in my wheelhouse. Adios.
On we go.
Yeah.
You can't go back and you can't stand still if the thunder don't get